Welcome back to our little endeavor here. We have a sunny day, but this morning we had some fog and the last few days also some sprinkles of water, why everything is still looking wet. The forecast for the next 10 days does not mention any rain, so we have to be content with what we have received. And I wanted to show you a few new things that weren't the case when I filmed the last one. So you can see that these trees here have lost all their leaves, and also the little garden box here is now the winter version. You can see some garlic growing here, and the chive is still there, but it's not making a lot of progress. There is a little bit of coriander, and I believe this is rucola salad. Yeah, it feels like it were. We should probably eat that. And the beans have finished their cycle, and you can see here also a seed pod, or actually 3, of the okra. But this is now also gone. Temperatures are too low for it. And I give you a close-up here of the trees. Well, you can clearly see that they have now lost all their leaves and little branches. For these trees, this is their second year now, the end of their second year. And the one there in the back, one of these trees, the one furthest afar, is the one that had received the technical cut involuntarily. A horse topped it over, and those will now receive the technical cut. Not right now, there are a few other things to do, but at any moment basically. It does not really matter when, as long as it's before spring, when they are going to come back. And based on experience, they will come back by the end of April, when the temperatures are rising. And now I will take you over there and show you something else. And as I walk over there, I can also show you, passing by, what's going on here. So the beans that were growing apparently don't like the temperature. It's not their time, so that was kind of a failed experiment. But I will put some new beans here when spring comes. And there's also an idea to have more of this trellis. There's still some of these segments left, so these can be used. So let me take you around here. Now you see more of the leafless trees. The tomato harvest did not happen, but I have made a chutney of green tomatoes, and we will see how that looks like in a couple of weeks. This is now biomass. It doesn't really matter. What we do have is that flower. We will see their leaves are very big. I would think that the flowers will show up by spring. And what we also have is all that green stuff there. Those are broad beans. The ones that were left over, pretty old seed actually, and they are happily growing, so that's a good thing. This is also for additional biomass, and they don't mind the low temperatures. So that basically was free because the seeds were left over. The vetiver is also still there, but it shows autumn colors, so it does not really like the cold, but it exists and it will not die, and probably is making more roots, which is good. And now that we are here, I can show you a few things. So actually it's one big thing. So you see those two sticks here. Those are originally fence posts, but I'm using them as markers. And what you see here is the place for the first container. So there is a pending order to get a 40 feet shipping container delivered. It comes from the port in Malaga, and it's a Chinese business. The people who sell this, they have a Spanish company name, but the person I spoke to was definitely a Chinese. Clearly recognizable by the way how he spoke Spanish. So this is going to be the place for the first container. So this is roughly marked. This is 40 feet, 12 meters long, and 2.5 meters wide. It's going to be a high cube container. And a little bit later, there will be another one down there. That gate, what you see there, that we intended to install here, we will not install there anymore. Plans have changed, so I'm very happy that we did not achieve this. This is going to be something else, but I'll show you when the time comes. So the idea is to have two containers here, and then the space in between is going to have a roof overhead. We have to figure out how exactly to do this, but we are going to use wooden rafters instead of trusses, so that's easier, and we can do this ourselves. And we also have done this because this also has roof rafters, 6 meter long pieces on each side, so that worked out well. So the distance between the inner posts there is 12 meters. That's probably too wide. So that means that that one will come up a little bit. And of course the whole place needs to be level. So I am waiting on an order of some stone and gravel, and that will then form some sort of a foundation for this, and then the 4 feet of the container will sit on some strong blocks so that it's a little bit above the ground, and it has the gravel below for drainage. And of course there will be a little channel to move the water there to the back instead of flowing this way. I am going to start this once the backhoe is operational again. There is a hydraulic hose that needs a repair, and Angel is taking care of that. And once he brings the replacement, I can then start preparing this area here. And then of course we will fill this area. There are multiple options from where the material can come from, but the second container is not that important. The most urgent one is this one here, and that will then allow us to move everything that we have stored there into that container. Well, looks like that. Okay, now it did. Because that roof there is going to blow off at any point. And everything that is stored in there will then live in a container, so all the racks that we have there, they will move. And then we have a better place here. So that is the immediate thing. And that should be it for the moment about this project here. So we have started also in a slow way, because now we have the holidays coming up, and that means we cannot do that much. But once we are in January, we then definitely will be doing a lot more things. And there's a long list. And in preparation of that list, I also marked this here. So you see there a marker post, and then there's a other one in the back. So if I zoom in, you can see it more clearly. So here on this platform there will be a concrete slab, and we will construct a barn, a workshop basically, and then in front there will be a house. So the two buildings are connected, so they share a wall, but we will do this in two separate steps. So first we will build that workshop. That gives us a lot of protected and also heated space at some point. It will be spray foam insulated, but it's going to be a very simple construction, so that between Andrel and I, we can do that. And I can mention another thing. I have ordered a few networking pieces. You see this post here, and on top there will be some Wi-Fi and also a camera. I want to try this, and some other things. And this will then be on top, so that we have Wi-Fi in all the farmyard. And finally I can also see what's going on there in the front, because right now I can look out of windows, but I won't see anything. So this is just to make it a little bit easier, and I can observe what is going on there. This is a more nerdy project, but I should still mention that we are about to do this. So the things are on order. I'm just waiting for the delivery, and then I will play around with some networking stuff and install it, and then Angel will come and help me to raise this, so that we have this in place. We do have power here in this building, because see, there is the conduit, and it gets the power from there, and so this can easily be done. The fiber optics cable that I wanted to install in the very same fashion as this got chewed up by a rat, so this cable is no more, which is why I only have power there. But we have power and we can start. Eventually our solar system will move into that building, but that's a later step. And now that I mentioned solar, so I also placed the order for an extension of our solar system. So you see right now we have those panels there in this makeshift fashion, and this will now be replaced. Oh, well, they will not be replaced just yet, but there will be a solar extension here in front of that wall on our side. On the outside is the easement. 40 new panels on a solar extension, and nominally this will provide 7,900 watt. The inverter is a 6,000 watt inverter, so it's overbooked, and as the sun is never in the right spot, and of course there are changes and there are clouds and all these things, so that overbooking is something that one can do. So we should then have, most of the time I hope, 6,000 additional watts, and this brings us to a little bit over 9,000, and that should then help to have our batteries always full, which is important. And speaking about the batteries, I can show you that also. Plus something that's a little bit sad. So you see Miriam here. Let me make this image a little bit better. And she is old and has some troubles. She has some problem with her forelegs, so walking is difficult. She does not walk, she just moves crawling around here, and she even pooped right there. This is old, but it's not from today. I need to clean this up, and yeah, this might be the beginning of the end, but this is a dog's life. I have no idea how old she is. She has eaten her ration, so I provided this in this way so that she does not have to go anywhere. But yeah, this is how life is. It's part of it. And what I wanted to say about the solar system is that here. So in that box There are a lot of gel batteries. They have a nominal capacity of 48 kilowatt hours, but because they are lead acid batteries basically, only half of that is really usable. And if they are not full at the beginning of the night, then we will run low in the morning, because we might have a dependency on those batteries for, right now, days are shorter, 19 hours. So basically that's from last point of generation to next point of power generation via the solar panel. So that means we are a little bit short. And of course this is not the right way. It works because these batteries can handle that, but I could not put lithium-ion batteries in that way. So eventually all that will be moving to another place, and this is now the first step. So we will get those additional panels over there, and I basically wait now when the company that will install them tells me when they're going to come. I'm pretty sure this will be after Christmas, but it might be between Christmas and beginning of January. That would be very lovely. And you can spot there Sakahawea. She is now grazing in this enclosed area. And there is still something left. And then we will find another spot for her. So this works out very well. So she understands that there's a fence and stays within and moves slowly. So all my worries have had a reason for being, but nothing happened. So it's very good. But I cannot let her roam in an area that is wide and has too difficult obstacles or even dangerous things where she could trip over, fall, hurt herself, something like this. So it's better to give her a more controlled area. But it's working out very well.